Hi, I'm Gloucester Township Mayor Dave Mayer, and welcome to another series in the Gloucester Township Small Business Assistance Program. We're very fortunate to be joined today by Congressman Donald Norcross. Congressman, thank you for taking the time today, but thank you even more for the great work that you've done with the American Rescue Plan. You know, when you called me and you told me that Gloucester Township is getting money from the American Rescue Plan, you know, I said to you, this is great news, because people don't normally call me to tell me they're getting us money. Some people call to take money away from us. So your great work with that is truly appreciated. And as you know, we've taken some of that money and created the Gloucester Township Small Business Assistance Program, which is a direct grant to small businesses here in Gloucester Township, raising from $5,000, $7,000 to $10,000 to small businesses that were affected by the COVID crisis. So thank you for that, and I know it's very significant to our small businesses. Congressman, you know, we've heard a lot about the American Rescue Plan. Why is that plan so significant to small businesses and residents of not only Gloucester Township, but this nation?
Well, Mayor, first of all, thank you for inviting me back. We've had a series of these through the pandemic, and it's been historical by any measurement, but certainly in a human toll. And I just want to take a moment to thank those who literally helped us get through the pandemic, whether you're wearing a uniform with a badge on it or scrubs for a hospital, or literally those who are keeping our stores stocked. Literally, they kept our country running. And it's with those who were impacted by COVID, that we decided we needed to do something above and beyond what was considered normal. And we passed three major bills during the pandemic, of which the American Rescue Plan is by far the most robust, and as I would suggest, responsive to the community, whether you're a small business just trying to keep things going, or you're unfortunately unemployed because of the economic times we live in. You, myself, others were around, saw firsthand. First of all, people were scared. They didn't want to get sick. So we huddled down in our homes. Well, when we're at our homes, that means all the businesses are not getting the type of action that they used to keep their doors open. Well, that was incredibly important to them and to those who were no longer working. That enhanced unemployment, literally kept food on the table. So we wanted to respond quickly in a big enough way that it actually made a difference, but also give the local communities flexibility, like you did in Gloucester Township, to target areas specific to your town.
Yeah, and that's tremendous work. Are there any other programs that you're aware of that help small businesses through the American Rescue Plan?
Well, there's three major layers in the American Rescue Plan. Obviously, what we're doing on the federal government, and certainly that goes to vaccines and all the research there. There's the money that went to the state, almost $10 billion to state New Jersey, which also flows down to local. And then what we did directly for Gloucester Township, $7.6 million for you, for your school districts, over $7.5 million. Almost $20 million in direct aid just for Gloucester Township. We know how important it is because nobody can recover alone. And that's why you hear these tremendous numbers. We're a big country, but it's made up of small communities just like yours. So we wanted to make sure that there's food on the table, that money in the pockets, and that's that enhanced paycheck protection program that anybody who was on unemployment knows about. We also had disaster loan programs for those businesses, and there was many levels of that. But the Small Business Administration, almost $70 million went out that came down through you and others. That's incredibly important because in addition to that, rental payments. You know, if you don't have a job, it's tough to pay the rent. And we understand that that rent impacts the families who live there, but also those who have those homes and apartments for rent. If they're not being paid, that means they're in trouble. So rental assistance is something that's incredibly important, obviously for the families, but also for those who own those homes. If not, they both sink together. So we've had a number of programs, including in Gloucester Township, to try to educate both sides of that equation so you can access this money.
Yeah, no, that's terrific. I know you're extremely busy. There's a lot happening in Washington, D.C. Are there any particular initiatives that you're working on that residents of Gloucester Township would find interesting?
Well, we're all in this one together. Obviously, we need to keep the country running, so that's our fiscal end of the year. But really, the two big items is infrastructure. I know you do a great job with your roads in Gloucester Township, but there are a couple potholes in roads that need to be fixed. And it has been way too long till the real investment into our infrastructure. That includes schools, that includes water pipes, sewers. We've been on borrowed time, and we need to get this done. But the other side of that is something you've heard of called Build Back Better. It's the reconciliation. It's a method by which we make this game-changing, once-in-a-lifetime investment. You know, this is about making sure that our infrastructure to keep the lights on is going to continue to work, that everybody has access to broadband. But there's another issue that is of particular importance, and generally it's not the first thing you think of during a pandemic. But as we're going back to work, our kids are safely back in school, childcare. The number one problem in trying to get employees back in the workplace is access to quality, affordable childcare that you believe in. That's the backbone of this Build Back Better. The average New Jersey person could save up to $27,000 a year. I was that single dad, Dave. It was not easy back then. If that door didn't open to the church where my son was, I didn't go to work. That means I didn't get paid. And we're seeing that problem across the board. So for everybody who wants quality childcare, I think this program will end up being like Social Security. It's our values as a nation. We care about our kids, not just when they get into kindergarten or first grade, but from the moment they're born, to make sure that you can have a job to go to because it's quality childcare. We're all in this together.
Yeah, so true. And they are very important and huge issues that you're working on. And thank you for continuing to fight to invest in our American people. So we really appreciate that. You know, Congressman, March 16th, 2020 was the day that we closed the municipal hall due to the crisis. And from that day forward, I want to thank you for your leadership in working with our county commissioners to get the vaccination, first the testing site up at the county college, and then the vaccination site right here in Gloucester Township. And I want to thank you and your staff for the great response. You're always very responsive to our residents and to me as well. And just really appreciate your leadership. And I thank you for being on today's program.
Well, it's great to be here. And again, stay safe, be vaccinated. We're all in this together. And the only way we make it through successfully is we do it as one nation, one community. And it's great to be here in Gloucester Township.
Thank you, Congressman. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Now that you have a basic understanding of how SEO works and your website and social media outlets are set up and in sync, it's time to talk about content. First, let's go over what content includes. It's basically everything you post, including photos, videos, events, blogs, stories, testimonials, and staff content connection. As I showed you in the video at the end of episode 1, interaction from trusted sources helps search engines find your website as they index content on the internet. Your goal is to post things that your followers are interested in looking at, commenting on, and sharing. This interaction helps your organic SEO numbers increase in search engines. So here are some of the rules about posting content that are important to follow. Don't make posts with just texts. Add a picture or video link to make sure your messages are engaging. Share, don't steal. If you see something in another post or from a website that you'd like to put on your social media accounts, don't take the content. Share their post or content link to their site. If you didn't make the content, don't post it in a way that makes it look like yours. Don't use other people's images. Just because you see the photo on the internet doesn't mean it's there and free to use. If you want a photo or image to use, get it from a stock footage or video stock footage site. I have some links on the screen of some sites that I use, but feel free to find places on your own. Some even have subscription services so you can pay one price to have access to thousands of images and graphics. Take your own photo and video content, make it completely yours. And if you can create content for your websites, like a blog or news story, share that on your social media sites from your own website. You are providing a referral source to your site, and that's good stuff. And now the big question, what to post? Your best bet is to talk about your business, what you do, and elements around what you do. That's called ancillary content because it supports what you do as a business. Always remember, it's called social media because it's supposed to be social. Be professional but conversational. No one wants to hear you only promote yourself. A good rule is that every fourth post could be about your services. Let's go back to Pizza King as an example. We can look at 4 posts. So we can do something light and fun. It relates to pizza, but we're not selling. Just something that people might be interested in looking at, maybe sharing. The second one is finding content from another site. So you could find it from another place, post it on your site, share it as if it's interesting, which it looks like it is, and let people know more about it. It's good for them to learn. You could highlight your staff members. This is John. He's a new driver. You could do something to increase engagement, like talk about a ridiculous pie and see if anybody asked him about it. It's a good way to track it in the real world. And then you could do a hard promotion. Doesn't need to have a discount or anything like that, but you could promote something that you want to sell heavily that night or something you have extra in stock, something you want to promote for a week that you have around the business and you're trying to move. That's always good stuff. So let's break that down. Those 4 posts over a few days include 2 ancillary posts, a post about your team, and a unique hard sell post, which doesn't need to be an offer. It could just be about something you have on the menu or something you want to highlight. Think of the post in formats: your business and services, your team, company history, ancillary content, what's around your business, things that you can relate to your business, content from other sources, which is just shared content, content from your website, and things for fun, like social media days. You know, today is hashtag pepperoni pizza day. Well, just share it. You don't need to sell. You could say you have a discount on pepperoni pizza that day, but you don't need to. Just make people have fun with it. Of those themes mentioned, only one of them sells. The other starts or supports a conversation. Most posts can be supported with a photo, created as a simple video, or posted with a fun graphic. One thing to always remember when it comes to what image to include with a post is make sure it looks good. Not blurry, not too far away so you can't see what's happening. It doesn't need to be professional, but it should look good. Most any smartphone has a good enough camera to give you some great looking content. When it comes to video, it needs to look and sound great. There are no loud noises in the background. The subject shouldn't be talking over loud music or wind. No one will watch a video that doesn't sound good. So don't post it. When I'm lecturing on this content, I get the same comments all the time. How do I know it looks good? Or I'm not a professional. How do I take video? Here are some quick tips to make sure your photos and videos look better for your social media in general. Always look at the whole image. Make sure nothing is growing out of people's heads, or take a second to move your subject so that things in the picture don't look messy. Those few seconds you spend mean a lot in the quality of the image. Never take a photo with a window behind your subject. Inevitably, the background will be brighter than what you're showing. The same goes for shooting in the sun. It's not a great choice. In fact, take pictures and video with those light sources at your back. That'll help make your subject's face bright, or your subject itself bright. It'll look much better. Tell your story visually, especially for pictures. Take a photo of the location, the subject, and every detail you want to show. You don't have to use them all, but you'll have them with you. And if it helps illustrate what you're trying to say better, you can use more than one image. It's very hard to go back and recreate something. It's better to just have it. You can always delete it. For video, take a quick listen in the room that you're recording in before you record. Is it noisy? Is a radio on? Are people on the phone chatting in the background? Or if you're outside, is it windy? Is there a lot of traffic? It's best to move to a quieter spot. Your video will sound better and people will be more apt to watch it. When it comes to what you post, I suggest thinking of others before you do. It's considered best practice for a business account to make sure what you're writing isn't offensive or political. Also, read what you post before putting it up. Typos and grammatical errors reflect poorly on you and your company. Give it a try. Start posting. Use the format I mentioned. It works for almost every situation. If you have questions, submit them on the GlowTwip webpage under the Educational Series section, and we'll get back to you with answers. Remember, you can always schedule a one-on-one session if you feel like you need some help. Good luck. See you in episode 4.